The old adage, a picture paints 1,000 words, is actually a really useful metaphor when explaining the importance of imagery in digital and social media. Research shows that when we remember pictures much more readily than we remember words. So choosing the right image for your site and for your digital is important in creating a positive first impression, but more importantly, a lasting one. Images play a crucial role in so many aspects of your digital footprint. Images have the ability to trigger emotions, create trust, and even modify our behaviour. This part of the course will help give you simple and effective tips to improve your image taking, help understand stock imagery, and also advise you on permission and consent. The most important thing to say, if you are blessed to have a great DSLR camera and you know what that is, go out and use it. Learn as much as you can about it. Or maybe in your congregation is a keen amateur photographer, then it'd be great to get them involved in your digital work, creating a really solid image bank. But for the rest of us normal folk, the smartphone will do just fine. Smartphone cameras have gotten more phenomenal in the past few years, with companies beefing up the photo resolution, adding more lenses, integrating photo storage options that keep you snapping without fear of filling up your camera roll. Ask anyone with an Instagram account and you'll soon discover the camera is the killer feature on most every smartphone. Here are a few tips that will help you massively up your photo game. First, start with a clean slate. Before you shoot a single picture, make sure your gear is in order. Often that means giving your phone camera a wipe. Always make sure the lens is clean before you take an image. Wiping your lens with your jean might do the job, but using a coarse material like a cotton shirt or a napkin shirt dipped in water may end up damaging your lens over time. So, here's my advice. Get a microfiber cloth and a little bit of water on it and give it a really good clean. Make sure your camera lens is free of smudges and ready to go. Next, a little framing goes a long way. Framing in photography refers to the technique of drawing your focus on the subject in a photo, maybe blocking the other parts out or focusing on something particular in a scene. Artful framing shots require a more creative state of mind, but it doesn't mean you have to line everything up all by yourself. Luckily, you can employ your camera to assist you when it comes to framing and composing your shots. I've got a bit of advice for you. It's called the grid method. In iOS, so if you've got an Apple device, go in your settings, select camera, and then from there enable the grid mode to deploy a rule of thirds overlay on the camera. That grid, which is a grid you'll see, will help you better compose your images and work out where they fit, vertically or horizontally. On Android, go into your settings, your apps and your camera and select grid lines to choose the rule of third overlay, as I've just said about iOS. It's really important that you understand that the whole image is useful for you, and pointing different things in different perspectives is great. Next, think about what you are trying to take photos of. What are you trying to photograph? What do you see when you have finished taking and processing all these photos? If you go with a great intent, you'll probably produce a better photo. If you go without having a clue of what you're going to photograph, you might get a great shot, but in my opinion, much likely less to achieve what you wanted and what you desire for your bigger digital work. Look at the scene in front of you before taking the photograph. When you arrive in your location or at your church, don't just start shooting straight away. Look around you, take in the view of the sights, the sound, the smells. Get a feeling of the location you're in. I know this sounds a bit like arty-farty nonsense, but trust me, just try it once and you'll see maybe things you've never seen before about your building. Another great option is to try different angles and different viewpoints. Don't just restrict yourself to standing in one location and always shooting at eye level. Sometimes taking it higher and lower to your right and your left will really help you get some better and different angles of people. One of the main issues with taking pictures is as soon as you pull that camera out, people become deeply uncomfortable. There are some ways to avoid this. One of the main ways is just to be around all the time. You'll realise that when you're around all the time, people just start ignoring you, and you can begin to get more and more comfortable taking the photos you need. One of the best pieces of advice is light, light, light. Look around you and think where light is coming from. How can you best access that on a subject you're trying to focus on? Photography is made better mostly by light. And the final and best piece of advice is go out and take photos. It's really important that you just go out there with your camera when you're not under pressure, whatever it may be, out in nature with your family. Take on the challenge to improve your photography by taking photos. And finally, permission. One of the biggest questions I get when I travel around is what permission do I need for both adults and children? We've included a sample consent form here in this course. But let me make it clear, when you are using a person's image, you need to gain permission to use that. And if you're using a child's image, your signature from the adult, the parent or guardian is required. Let's move on to stock photo. Creating images for the digital medium is not easy. You can't simply just pull images from all over the internet and use whatever you want. But there are some incredible stock photography sites readily available that come with license for all the purposes that you will need. So instead of having to pay big money to hire a photographer, you can use some of these ready-made images, creative images that are utilised on various projects. But also, the same with permission. To use stock photos, you need to have proper permission. Or you can't just go and take them off Google or take them off another search engine and think they're rightfully yours. In fact, when it comes to images online, you need to be fully aware of what attribution you need to give and what licensing details. We've included, as I said, a list of really helpful places you can download stock imagery for free. This is not an exhaustive list, but if you go elsewhere, please be aware that you need to use images in the correct and right way. But images are such a great way to show incredible people, incredible places, and the wonderful, amazing people that make up your churches and your congregations. My one piece of advice to all you photographers out there is have a go, because I believe that practice really does make perfect.